Hi everyone, my name is Patrick McGuire, CEO of the North Shore Realtors. In 2023, NSR is celebrating 100 years of the Greater Salem Association of Realtors. Each month we are producing a video chronicling a decade of the association's history, culminating at our annual meeting in October. Today, we discuss 2004 to 2013.
So I got involved in leadership and, the board of directors and going along. And all of a sudden, Linda Scory pulled me aside and said, Pam, I'm retiring. I said, you're what? Really? Okay, I'm a volunteer and you're retiring and we have nobody to take your place. This is going to be interesting. Jeff Pappas was there here at the time, and so he's been around for a long time, so he stepped up a little bit, but it was a lot for Jeff. And as I said earlier, it wasn't like we have a huge staff here. So he had all the duties that he already was responsible for, plus the other duties. So it was a lot to expect. So we got our search committee going, and like any committee, you have all kinds of opinions on what should happen. So we put the search out. Fortunately, Linda was trying to help us out a little, obviously. She's getting the word out to all the people in the industry. So I was doing my training as vice president, and you go to Chicago, which was an amazing experience. But I also, in January, you go to this was at Seaport at the time, and I'm meeting leadership from across the state. And one of our speakers to guide us through the leadership process and what we could expect was Susan Klein. I was very impressed with her guidance in the leadership positions and explaining everything to us, so we felt comfortable that we could handle it. And lo and behold, she became one of the people who applied for the position. And we were so very fortunate because it was a low time in our association where we didn't have a lot of volunteers. People didn't want to do it. As a matter of fact, Lois Williams became president twice because of that. She stepped up to the plate, and I really appreciate what Lois did in that regard. And we've come a long way from that time too.
At 2:46 a.m. on November 22nd, 2006, the day before Thanksgiving, there was a massive explosion in the Danburysport neighborhood. The explosion emanated from a chemical plant, sending a blast wave throughout the area. The U.S. Chemical and Safety Board said at the time that the explosion caused the worst community damage they had ever investigated. Luckily, there were no fatalities. About 77 families and 10 businesses were forced to relocate. The North Shore Association of Realtors was one of those businesses. By 7 a.m., Susan Klein and Jeff Pappas were on the scene assessing the damage. As Susan is quoted in Banker and Tradesman, it really looked like a war zone. The association acted quickly to relocate and stay available to members, working through the holiday weekend to open its doors at 398 Essex Street in Beverly by Monday. It was through the drive and ingenuity of members such as Debbie Z and Lois Williams and the building task force that the association was able to quickly turn to the next chapter, a chapter that continues to this day.
We were footloose and fancy-free, and anything went with mortgages. I was invited one time to a golf tournament, and I was asked if I had any buyers who would be interested in 125% loan to value. And that did not sit well with me, and I thought, that's interesting. And of course, what happened a couple of years later, a severe downturn in the industry relative to people being upside down in their homes. So that's when we stepped in as professionals, and right away, this is what I love about the association: educate, 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 inform, and let's change. I know the word pivot has become very popular during COVID, but let's go with the market. So again, you have the association there for you to help you be aware of what's going on. So we took the loss mitigation course, and short sales evolved. Terrible foreclosures were coming forward. I know of agents from other associations that had to carry a gun because they were involved in evicting people from their homes. It was not easy. For me, it was very rewarding that I could help people through that process, that they could come out from under the loss of their home and restart their lives again. We were able to deal with multiple faxes because we would fax all the information to the lender and to the other lenders if there were others. And sure enough, 30 days down the line, what would happen? Would you refax that? We don't have that anymore. We couldn't find it. We never received it. So you found realtors constantly in the office at the fax machine. The lender would change to a new point person. So now you had to redo everything again. Now you're dealing with a buyer and a buyer agent who wants to know what's going on. Is there any funny business? It just went on and on. But it was challenging, but at the end, when the transaction occurred and we closed, it was extremely rewarding for me. I didn't go and hide and not do business. I don't know, I just felt it was a good niche. I felt comfortable because I was helping people in a very unfortunate situation.